Stop it, Nicky.
Right, okay.
Yeah, I got that on there now.
Yeah, it's all on there. Bronnie's just putting on the first
See, I can't do.
Bronnie's just put on the first coat of undercoat, and the first thing that sprung to mind when she started doing it after about a foot is that the van seemed to be coming alive. Just painted up a couple of battens here, which are going to go to trim off the fan plastics around the roof area so that you can't see through them. Because of the thickness of the roof, there is a slight gap which is going to be in the recess. You'll see these grey things. I'll show you these later. So this is where we're at the moment. That's where the gas box is going, and then behind it where the exhaust is, that exhaust will obviously be shorter than that, and that's where the Truma heater will be. Battery over there, and as you can see, that back wall is in now. You can see down in that corner there's sort of like a cat flap. We're not got a cat, it's just where all the piping is going to go and things like that. So from the other side the kitchen will be covering that, but it's now all carpeted. There is a gap down that one side as well. That's had a couple of coats of undercoat, but this side here now has had 3, and the right bottom above the window has had 3 as well. So that's more or less ready for the top coats to start, and then once we've started building up the shelf units. Today we're going to concentrate on the ceiling. We're starting to work around the fans now, okay, but I've got to trial fit them each time, every time a plank of wood goes in, because what I don't want to do is end up being too big. And then from that side, we're not going to see much of that wall. It looks really nice carpeted in real life. I don't know whether you can see it properly. That's the cat flap, as I call it, down the bottom there, which is where all the piping will come through. It's not particularly tight up against the walls because I didn't want it rubbing, but it is battened behind and on the floor level, so it's not going anywhere. It also gives a substantial amount of stress to that first beam of the bed, so if we do jump on the bed, the first beam is absolutely solid. And then we put in some other green lines now. You can see, let me just see, that one there is going to be the shower, that one there is going to be the sofa, and then this one here is going to be the kitchen coming across to the step. That will place, let me just put the step over for a minute. Okay, so that will put the step in the middle of that gap-ish, okay, and then in that central part, just about there, will be Sequoia table fitting, and then that will allow for the bench people there, and also this will double. This is going to have a double swivel seat. So that's where we're at the moment. So this is where the gas bottle is going to go. It's there or thereabouts, so we've just got to measure where the dropout vent has got to be. You can see the exhaust there, and half empty Lucozade bottle, but the exhaust there is where it's going to be the towards that wheel arch, the combi heater. The battery has been, I had a chap from work help me lift this in because it is massive. That's going in next week, and then this will all be joined up, and then around to the front. So the cable now is running through the seating, through the box, and it's all attached. There's a mega fuse at both ends. That is all carpeted. I haven't put it tight up against the wall because I don't want it squeaking. And there's like a cat flap in the corner, which is where all the wires and pipings are going to be. This green line's here, so I think I've done this before, but you've got that is the shower, that is where there's going to be a bench, and this is where there's going to be a kitchen. And the ceiling is getting more towards finished. Took me ages to cutting out around the fans. I have fitted the cowling, and that's all fine. You can see, can you see that? One of the lights is in, so that I just wanted to try it out. But then the holes down the middle are already cut and ready to go. Not a huge amount done this week. We were up at the NEC on Thursday. My sister's thinking about buying a van. She was having a look. My father was up there having a mooch around too. And Bronnie and I, we bought a fridge and a cooker, which are arriving on Wednesday. So a really big box behind the front door. That's the cooker, I think. Yes, that's the cooker. So that's from Thetford. And then over to the conservatory. I say conservatory, but what I mean is building yard. That big box there is the fridge. That's from Dometic. And the other big box that was in the corner was all the piping and ducting. We got the ducting for the Truma heater, and we got the piping for some of the waterworks. But as you can see, the whole conservatory is one big building yard at the moment, which is all good fun. And then when it was getting really cold over the weekend, put together the plumbing. So it's got the filter, inline filter, the water comes in here, filter, pump, it's Sure Flow, it's the Whisper King or something, and then a connector, and then onto an accumulator tank, and then the water out at this end. So that's all looking fun at the moment. Thanks to watching Greg Berger's video, putting that all together really, just to make sure I got it in line in the right way. So that'll be fitted over the next few days onto the wall of the garage area. So we have woken up to our first really quite heavy frost. So that's going to be nice and chilly. But over the weekend, you might be able to see all the white dots in there. I've the ceiling is nearing completion. That's not quite up there tight yet because I didn't want to click it into place. I wasn't sure I was going to get it off if I did. But I've done all the filling of the screw holes where I've screwed up the tongue and groove, so that's coming along nicely. And yeah, do you know, some days it seems to go forward in leaps and bounds, and then some days you seem to be working but it not go so far. But I guess that's the nature of a van build. So whoa, you dropped the coffee. I'm just going to make myself a cup of coffee, and then I've got to get to work. Once I've had a shower and things anyway. Can't talk and find a spoon at the same time. So I'm going to make myself a cup of coffee. It really is cold this morning, so which is not a bad thing. I sort of like winter. So that's it now until Wednesday and Thursday. Sorry, I have a day off on Thursday. So oh, and for those of you that'll be interested, if you're watching the Wales-Scotland game, you may very well see me on the pitch at the Millennium Stadium or Principality Stadium. So until next time, please remember to play nicely and share all your toys.